Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. Earlier this year, Disney promoted an executive to lead its Metaverse push. Officially, this position is called the Senior Vice President of Next Generation Storytelling and Consumer Experiences. This position will focus on Disney's work towards a metaverse experience. CEO Bob Chapek said that teams across the company are already working on the metaverse. So today we're going to discuss a new Web3 position that Disney would like to fill. And the job description shows a lot of what they have in plans within this space. It's very telling because earlier in the year, the CEO said that this whole Web3 NFT metaverse space is the next great frontier in storytelling. And the title and the job description gives us a lot of insight as to what Disney is planning to do going forward. So the title is called the Principal Counsel, Corporate Transactions and Emerging Technologies in NFT. At least that's the title of it. I don't know if that's the title of the position or just the title of the job post. But what does all of that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. So according to the career board, which by the way, I'll leave the link to directly so you can see the actual job description on Disney's website. The job summary states that it is seeking an experienced corporate attorney to work on transactions involving emerging technologies, including NFTs, blockchain, metaverse, and decentralized finance. Responsibilities include providing full product life cycles and advice, and support for global NFT products. Working in collaboration with other Walt Disney attorneys and business stakeholders, including Disney's media and entertainment distribution, Disney parks, experiences, and products. Ensure NFT product compliance with applicable U.S. and international laws and regulations. Also, this person must assist in performing the due diligence for NFTs, blockchain, third-party marketplaces, and cloud providing projects, and negotiating and drafting complex agreements for those projects. In addition to all of that, this person must provide day-to-day legal advice for Disney legal and business teams on NFT cryptocurrency-related matters and issues, including reviewing the marketing and advertising disclosures and evaluating securities laws issues in connection with the promotion and sale of NFTs, because of course Disney does not want to get sued. So this lawyer will also have to provide thought leadership and strategic direction on products involving digital currency, blockchain technology, while providing advice on related legal and regulatory issues. Assisting leading cross-functional Disney meetings on emerging technologies, effectively collaborating with the internal, legal, and business teams. And lastly, partner with the business teams as they plan new global emerging technologies projects, typically on an accelerated and aggressive timeline. Now, that is an understatement, accelerated and aggressive timeline, because compared to how things go with Disney, let's say when they're coming up with these shows and characters and they're taking years to develop something, well, that is not going to happen in Web3. So I love how they ended on that. But generally speaking, by looking at the description of this, well, first of all, you have to be a lawyer in order to apply for this. But the reason why I think this is very interesting, even though you might not be a lawyer, and I'm not saying, hey, yeah, take this up and go apply for this job. The reason why I thought this was important to highlight is it really shows the direction in which Walt Disney, this massive company, is going, because I can't think of very many companies in the world that has more intellectual property, more characters, and more things that could be done in the metaverse and NFTs and with Web3 in general than Disney. So they're getting not only a full team, but they're getting all the legal things. They're getting their creatives on board. And you can see this position is going to have to interact with all those different properties. Look, they're trying to incorporate this stuff into their Disney parks, their products, their entertainment arms. I mean, so much is going on here. So whatever it is that they're building within this stuff is going to go all over. And if you look at Disney's general strategy for building up their IP, what they do is they build a compelling story and they usually make either a show or a movie, and then they tap into all the other areas such as music. Then they license things out to make merchandise, and they put their characters on things like cereal boxes, and all of that stuff is just bringing revenue in. And then, of course, they're going to have Disney World and all the theme parks where people want to hang out with those characters, go on rides of those themes, and so forth. So it is a big incorporating world of everything. So the fact that they put so much emphasis on Web3 and the metaverse, you also know that this is not just going to be physical parks anymore. This is not just going to be something that is going to be tangible and in the face of all their consumers at the exact touch point. They want to do a digital thing. And I know they have stepped into the world of streaming media and all of these other technical things that you necessarily wouldn't think of this old Disney company doing, but they're very forward thinking. And for over 100 years, they've managed to stay relevant. Or I should say just about 100 years, because their 100-year anniversary is actually October 16th, 2023. So we're talking about a 99-year-old company, but this is a worldwide organization. I don't think there are too many companies or characters or IPs that is more recognized than Disney, spanning generations. So we're talking about the young, the old, and whoever's coming along the line is going to be interacting with Disney. And they have managed to stay relevant through all of those generations. So going forward, going into the metaverse, Web3, and everything, they're going to be very innovative. They're going to be very aggressive. They're doing partnerships. I've seen just countless places where they're dabbling in the space, but they're really going deeper. And I think the fact that their CEO says that this is the next frontier for storytelling, it really shows where they're going with this. And if you think what Bored Apes are doing is very impressive, they have their characters, they have their subsequent collections, and of course now they're going into the metaverse with the other side. That's going to be very interesting. They're partnering with all these other companies. They've created games, the tokens, and so forth. But just imagine what Disney can do. They don't have a head start in Web3. However, they have a 90-plus year head start in IP, intellectual properties. And I don't think there's anyone that knows how to squeeze the juice out of a character more than Disney. So if you think Bored Apes and Other Side and what they're going to do there is going to be interesting, can you imagine a world where you're going into, and let's say is going to be a total superhero world where it's going to look like you're in an Avengers film? Slap on some MetaQuest goggles or something and you're floating around in the middle of that battle scene in the Avengers movie in New York City when Loki opens up the portal and all those aliens are coming from all over the universe, coming and descending onto Earth. I mean, how crazy would that be to experience that in the metaverse? So that is just one example, but I mean, let's go a little bit more passive and a little bit more friendly. Let's say kids dancing around with Mickey Mouse, things like that. I mean, there is just countless examples of that, you know, Buzz and Woody and all the Toy Story gangs. I mean, there's just so many ways that they could do this, incorporate all of this stuff. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to be. I've been a huge Disney fan, despite all the controversy over the years and everything. I mean, what they do with intellectual property, how they tell stories, I think it is absolutely amazing. And what a lot of people don't even know is that Disney is actually built on public domain characters. So for example, Snow White, Cinderella, Pinocchio, and all of those characters that really built Disney are not original characters. They just happen to reinvent them and tell the story better. Even Hercules, and something even as modern as The Lion King, I mean, that is probably as Disney as it gets. But did you know that seems to be heavily inspired by a Japanese animation called Kimba the White Lion, at least in English. The Japanese version was called like The Jungle Emperor. However, that came out in the 50s and 60s. And there's a lot of criticism saying that Disney just basically knocked off the idea. Even the name Kimba and Simba is very similar in name. But anyways, needless to say that no one really knows what Kimba the White Lion is compared to Simba and the Lion King. That just really proves that they are absolutely amazing in developing characters, building these billion-dollar franchises out of something that someone else might have thought of originally, but they just never built it into the behemoth of a company or a behemoth of a brand that Disney has done. So going back to all of this Web3 stuff, just imagine what they're going to do in Web3. Even some of these projects that might have failed that have some amazing origin stories. I like to say that, for example, the Fame Ladies probably has the best origin story in all of Web3. So not saying that they're a failed project, but I'm just saying that just imagine what kind of story Disney could tell with some Fame Ladies or any other NFT project that might not have reached the level of Bored Apes. Not saying that they even have to do that because they have so much IP that they could possibly draw from, but I'm just running off of what he said, the next frontier for storytelling. And there's a lot of story to be told about these NFTs. So going forward, I hope you found some value in just hearing what this position is about and all the ideas that could possibly be coming from this. Just reading through the description, I'm going to actually leave the link for it in case you want to check out the full post. Maybe you're qualified, you're an attorney, and you are interested in applying for this, or you're just curious. I'm going to put that in the show notes so you can see the full Disney post, and you can search around their boards. Or maybe if you're just looking for a job and you want to work with Disney, it's going to be there in the show notes. But I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this, Disney getting into the Metaverse and Web3. Please feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on Twitter or via the contact information in the show notes. But as usual, I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.